My name is Sarup Paul, and I am the product manager for self-service application here at ServiceNow. And today we are going to talk about our brand new product, ServiceNow Communities. Um, so the plan for today is to talk a little bit about why you should care about communities. We'll give you an overview of the product, dive deep into the features that we have in the products, and then I'll do a live demo. For your questions, please feel free to ask them on the community discussion thread. And then Lisa, who is here with me, will pass those questions back to me during the Q&A section of this. I'm happy to take questions around what we have in the product and in terms of feature requests or roadmap as well. So feel free to share those questions with me. With that, let me get started. So what do your users expect today? They are living their personal lives, and in their personal lives, whatever they do, they get very engaging consumer-like experiences. So be it buying something or going somewhere, or even watching a movie, they are always getting advice from others, and they are getting them very quickly at their fingertips. And that is the experience that your users are actually expecting when they start engaging with your company. And that's why we talk about online communities. Why should you care? Why should you care about having an online community for your enterprise? Good reasons. It provides your customers to be a part of your decision process, right? So they can discuss with you about how they're using your product or your service and then engage with you. Obviously, it helps in reducing your support cost. A network of peers can actually help them in solving some of their issues or questions they have regarding your products or services. Calls away from your call center or your assisted channels. Obviously, you can build some brand advocates. Those advocates are going on to help you and promote your product, and those drive revenue. Apart from the bottom line cost, it also drives the top line as well. And obviously, with the community, you are getting instant feedback and insights from your users as they're using your services or your products. And most importantly, you don't want to be left behind. Today, based on a survey, we know that about 60% of enterprises have deployed a community solution in the past 2 years, and about 20% are in the process of deploying one in the next 1 year. It's important that you also consider this. However, we do see some challenges when you go in to implement an online community solution. The experiences that are available for these kind of solutions out there in the market, they do not reflect the experience that those users are seeing in their personal lives, in their different experiences that they are having during the day. The conversations that you have on an online community tend to get very noisy because there are a lot of vocal people. Also, very importantly, the community solutions that you see out there are very siloed. Communities is a solution that maybe one of your departments has, but then it is not very well connected with your support, not very well connected with your documentation team or your product knowledge team. And then, most importantly, because they're isolated, because they are diversified, you end up having very costly implementations in terms of integration cost or making the look and feel work like what you want it to be. So let's talk about what we are doing in ServiceNow for that. So let's say you have an issue or a question. With ServiceNow communities, those users can come in, somebody. When somebody asks a question, those questions are discussed in a network of peers, and that leads to some content, a correct answer. They can even actually locate from the network of peers somebody who is an expert and then engage with them. And obviously, because of all the discussions that have happened already, they can find content that is available already in the community. answers. We also support blog posts. We also support sharing of videos, and I'll talk about those in detail as we go through the presentation today. But not only that, so once a discussion has started, we can do various things with it. First thing, when a discussion has started and you kind of feel like that the discussion cannot lead to a solution from the community, you will have the option to escalate and that to an assisted channel like a case or an email, and then get help around it. You can keep your network of peers engaged by targeting content towards them, content that is personalized to what their areas of interest are. Instead of pushing a lot of stuff to them through the UI, you are actually pushing personalized content to them. And finally, from the crowdsourced content, which tends to be very unstructured, you can harvest knowledge out and then transform them into the structured knowledge bases that your organization does support. So we can see that using communities, you can engage your users, you can provide service for your products, and uh, deliver support reduction costs. And then obviously you can also drive collaboration, not only between your customers and your organization, but also within your organization. So let's talk a little bit more about the features that we do. So in a typical communities environment, there is a life cycle for the forums that you are hosting. It goes from initiation, creation, growing the forums, maturing those forums, and then spreading out to create more forums around it. And we have various features that actually support that life cycle. So from an initiation point of view, you're trying to find some of the core members that can be part of your forum and then drive the communications and the conversations. So you can locate experts through our communities portal and specific areas. You can invite users to a forum. Obviously, you can create a forum, and we have amazing configurability in terms of what a user can do in a forum. You can organize events and then engage your users and then invite more people into it. And then you can publish blogs about your forum and then have discussions around that so that your users know what this forum is really about. As you grow, you can gamify some of the activities. We have an amazing gamification platform that we are building. And you can engage your users by giving them points on various things that you want to promote. Let's say somebody has given a right answer or a correct answer, then you can give them points, and that kind of elevates their expertise and their points. And not only that, we can actually find what they are good at based upon content that they have contributed in, or a forum or a topic that they contributed in. We have a lot of configurability in terms of how you manage moderation, a lot of out-of-the-box features in terms of doing that, workflow tasks, banning keywords and all. We'll talk about that as well. And most importantly, your users can subscribe to content that they're interested in. If they're interested in a particular forum or a topic, they can subscribe to it. And the notifications and the UI that they see is completely driven based upon that. Instead of pushing a lot of material to them, you're pushing content that they're really interested in. As you move into the maturity phase of a forum, you can promote your content to external through SEO. You can publish videos that will engage your users. You can even personalize the feed even more and give them even more targeted content. And then, as we talked about, you can take content from that community and escalate to case. During the spread life cycle, you're essentially looking that a forum has gone pretty big, and maybe there are opportunities for creating sub-forums and dividing the discussions between even granular topics of interest. We have something called as topics, which allows a user who is interested in content across multiple forums to track them and not having to go into the individual forums. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And very importantly, we talked about harvesting knowledge out of the community, converting them into structured content that your users could use. And all throughout this entire feature set, you still have the power of the amazing platform that we support. So There's a lot of configurability around the features that we have built and the core set of features such, around access control, business rules, and all. We have powerful workflows that you can use for moderating content or approving content that are very structured and require approvals. We have a very flexible security model, so you can do how you want to manage who can write what type of content. You can do that. The entire application is built on a set of REST APIs. So if you do want to leverage our capabilities but expose it through a different UI, you can do that through the REST APIs that we have given. The REST APIs are at a logical level, so you can use it for those purposes. Obviously, this is built on our service pole technology, and some of you might be familiar with how customizable it is. That allows you to really design the portal to your experience needs. And this is backed by the powerful analytics tools using performance analytics, which really gives great insights into your community users' behavior on behaviors that you want to promote and identifying experts. So that being said, let's talk a little bit in detail about the various features that we have. So the first thing that we want to focus on is the personalized feed. So when somebody logs into the community, they actually see content that is of interest to them. So here you can see that Eileen here, whose view we are seeing, gets content from network forum or a routing and switching forum, and then they're very specific to what she is interested in and not a list of contents, and she doesn't know what to do with it. And then she has full control over what she sees here, and as well as what she gets in email. So if you're seeing here for the forums that she is interested in or the topics that she is interested in, she can control what kind of activities she wants to get notified about. And that's how she is engaged with the community in a way that she likes. Next, we want to talk about how integrated this community experience is with the rest of their needs. So be it knowledge base, be it filing a case, they're all part of a single navigation scheme, all with a similar look and feel. So the behavior and the experience is not very jarring. Too often we see that you have communities tools that are standalone and they have been plugged into your environment, and they create a bit of a jarring experience for your end users. So having your communities, your knowledge base, your case management, all on a single platform with powerful features actually helps you provide excellent experience for your users. Next, let's talk about the forums. So as we know, forums are the containers within a community where certain discussions happen. You bring together a group of people and have them discuss about specific topics. So what you see here on the left is a screenshot of a remote access forum, and you can see there are various types of content like videos or questions, and if a question has been solved, then there's an indicator to it. We have a very flexible permissions model that allows you to configure the permissions for your users. So you can say that a certain set of users can view questions, and only a certain set of users can write a question. You may want to restrict who can create a blog or not, and there is a lot of flexibility around that. And when we go into the demo, I'll show you even more tools that they have in terms of managing their forum permissions and debugging those. Next, let's talk about something unique to our product. We have something called as curated topics. And these topics actually are orthogonal. So you can have a topic used in multiple forums, and then a user might be interested in that topic across multiple forums. So here you see the user is interested in this particular product, Tomahawk 5000 series. Our demo data is centered around a network management company. And he's seeing content across various forums here, remote access, networks, routing and switching. He doesn't have to go to each forum to get the content that he or she is interested in. And we'll talk about subscriptions as well, and then in a bit, where they can subscribe to this content and then get only information that they are interested in. We have some configurations around that as well. So you can say that a particular forum can discuss a few topics. It's very curated, so the discussion is not noisy. And again, they will have configurations in terms of subscribing to a certain set of forums and then getting notification preferences around that. We support 3 types of content as of Jakarta, and in the Kingston timeframe, we're adding a few more. So first, we have the traditional question answer content type. So you can ask a question, other users can reply to it. The original person who asked the question can mark a solution as accepted, and that can be used to drive some of the behavior. The next is blogs, which is a little more restricted out of the box in terms of who can write a blog, but it's up to you if you want to open up that. And blogs are where out and there is comments and helpful around that in terms of feedback options. And finally, we have videos. This is where your users can actually upload videos from external sources. So at this point of time, we are supporting 4 sources: YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, and Dailymotion. And your users can embed video either as a standalone content type, as you can see in this particular screenshot, or they can embed a video within a question or a blog, or even in your answers, wherever they want to invoke it. We do not store the video locally on ServiceNow, but we can control which types of videos and which sources of videos are allowed on the community. Okay, so next thing, we talked about the subscriptions a bit already. Essentially, you can subscribe to a forum, a topic, and you can also subscribe to content. So content in the form of discussions, Q&A, blogs, or videos. If you participate in a content by creating a question or commenting on a blog, you are auto-subscribed, and you will get notifications about it. And then your subscriptions are delivered through the activity feed on the homepage. So you get content related to your subscriptions, targeted to you based on your preferences on the homepage. And also the email notifications that you get are also delivered to the subscription framework. And as we talked about, you have full control as to what you get in the form of emails. Next, let's talk about search. So within the community portal, you can search for content within the community. And we have various filters in the form of forums, topics, and authors and all. And you can even search for community discussions that are solved, so that you are focusing your searches around that. The global search on the service portal has also been updated. So when you search for something on the global search, you actually get results across all the sources, and now you have new sources in the form of communities, and you can go into and look at those. In order to invoke the specialized search experience for community, you can actually click through from here to go to the community search results page and do a little more faceted experience around that. We also have a profile. So in the community, as we talked about earlier, you need to identify who is an expert in what and how much contribution that they have done in the community. So you can maintain a profile for every user, and then that user can actually control what values, what data about them are actually exposed. So there is a privacy settings UI where you can say, hey, I can expose like where I am from to everybody, or let's say my title to only people who are logged in, or maybe my email address is only visible to me. There is full control about that a user can do. And then we have some capabilities within the platform in terms of configurations, and we can say that, hey, if it is an internal user, you fetch the information about this user from a different set of tables, or If it's a customer, you get the information from a different set of tables. There is a lot of configurability for different personas that are using the community. And then the same profile is being viewed by somebody else. So that's a way they can find out what the expertise is in. We also have capabilities around moderating content. So you can, as a user, you can report certain content to be abusive, and you can also report somebody's profile to be abusive. And in that way, it generates a moderation task and a moderation workflow, and then you can manage the content accordingly. We also have some synchronous moderation in the form of banned words. So as you will see in the demo later on, we prevent users from typing in words that we want to ban from the community. And then obviously we have the capability around banning users who have done multiple offenses, and a banned user actually can only see a read-only view, will not be able to contribute anymore. We even have features around managing new users. So if you want to moderate the first few posts about that a user actually puts in, check him out, check her out, before you give them full privileges, you can do that through the moderation framework that we have. So a lot of inbuilt out-of-the-box features that you can use to moderate the content that you have. And finally, as we talked about earlier, all of this is built on frameworks that you can extend and customize if you need to. So the first thing is the service portal. So you can configure the page designs, change the layouts for your home page or your forum pages, and etc. You can obviously customize that by extending our widget framework and then making changes on that. The REST API supports all the features that you see on the UI. So and they are at the business layer, right? So the logic in terms of a specific user, all of that is built in the API that will allow you to build a community's application, maybe on a third-party portal if you want to, using our APIs. Then we have the activity and subscription framework. So you can configure different types of activity. So we talked earlier about, users' content has been marked as a correct answer. That's an activity. We ship with a lot of out-of-the-box activities, but if you want to track a specific activity, you can do that. And then we also do what is called as user-specific streams. So that activity feed that you saw on the UI, it is based on a specific stream that has been created for that user. So as activities happen, certain items actually are added to the stream. So when you're seeing the UI, it's already optimized for performance. We saw the unified navigation menus. So using those navigation menus, you can add links to various pages in the application and keep a consistent UX across your various assets, communities, knowledge, your service portal. And then you can also configure search sources. So out of the box, we configure the search sources for community and knowledge, and then you're able to search them. You can configure search sources for other stuff if you want to. So let's jump into a demo. We'll see how it works. So I'm logged in as George Warren, and as I told earlier, our demo is based around a fictitious company who is dealing with various network products and network management software. And what we are seeing here is the homepage of the community portal. And the first thing that you will notice here is the activity feed. And this activity feed that you see is very personalized to the question, to the interest that George has. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well, and how he can subscribe. So you can see the various types of content, whether it is questions or videos. If it is videos, you can actually see the videos inline and probably I can play from here as well. You see this experience. In our later releases, we are actually trying to make this experience more like what you see in your social platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn. And you're going to be able to interact with this, reply to a certain question directly from here, or comment on something, mark something as helpful. All of that will happen here. So let's take a look at a question. So how does a question page look like? So here we see that Rick had asked the question, and very much at the top, right after the question, is the accepted solution. It may have happened somewhere else in the entire thread, and we can do replies, nested replies to reply and all that stuff. So it might be hidden somewhere in between, but we show the accepted answer right at the top. And then we also have certain contextual information, like Rick has posted, Rick was the original author, so those are informed there. In a later releases, we are adding more information around the gamified points that a user has. All of that will come here, very much like what you see in your social experiences. And as I was saying earlier, this is all part of one experience. So if you already saw the community portal. From here, you can also go to, let's say, if you want to go to the knowledge base, or if you want to go to getting support about your business. All of these are similarly looking portals with the same kind of themes. It's not jarring at all. And then you can give your users a consistent UX out of the box. Let's do a search. So, I missed the type ahead search, but I hope you got it. So you see the search results page. We can actually look for content across multiple forums if you want to, or multiple topics if you want to, authors. You can directly go down to a solved question and look at the content around that. And everything is tied in terms of context. So for example, here, I can look at this thread from here. I can get the answers. I can go to Rick Weaver's profile if I wanted to. I can go to the topic that this is about, all directly from here. So if I click on this, I can actually go to a forum page and look at various content in that forum. From here, I can actually go to another forum. It's all very connected, consistent UX. In a forum, you can see different types of content that have been posted here, videos or questions, and you can filter through stuff. Here you also see topics, right? So this forum actually discusses 2 of the topics related that are available on this community. And we can go to this particular topic and look at the content across multiple forums. So you can see that, videos coming from remote access forum or a routing and switching forum, and you can get content across all forums. And again, you can subscribe to this, and you are basically being able to get content that is delivered to you based upon the subscription. Okay, so we've seen a lot of the content. Let's look at some people, right? So in this forum, one of the top contributors is Eileen. So I'm going to look at Eileen's profile. So this is George looking at Eileen's profile. And if you remember from the screenshot earlier, Eileen had a lot more information available, but here you see only the location and the bio. Again, Eileen can control what is being shown in her profile. And you can look at the various content that she has posted. You can even have that activity feed experience for Eileen, so you can actually look at what activity Eileen has done apart from just posting content. At a very high level, you can look at the various contributions she has done. So you see that she has answered 1 question, uploaded videos, so it's pretty interesting. Also look at what forum she subscribed to. So from here, you can go to another forum and then subscribe to that forum as well. So you can follow stuff that your other users are following, and then you can have an integrated experience between a network of peers. All this stuff, George could do from Eileen's profile, but let's see what George can do with his profile. So we get in here, and as you can see, George exposes a lot more data that it's available to him. So you can see phone number, email, and all that. He has not done a lot of contributions, but he's subscribed to a lot of content here. But let's have George, edit his profile. So this is where he can come in, and maybe he has moved to Santa Clara. If he wants to change that. And it says help and learn. So all of this information George can save very quickly go, and then his profile is updated. But not only that, now George can also control what his privacy settings are. So for example, he can change that, hey, I don't want everybody to see my title, so only me. Or he can do that for, let's say, email. Maybe he wants to show it, but only to people that are logged in. So all of those changes George can make very quickly on his profile. So we have seen a lot of stuff around George managing his profile, looking at somebody else's profile. Let's look at some of the other settings that he can do. So we talked about subscriptions. So you're looking at here the subscription preferences for George. And as you can notice here, this is a truly integrated experience. From here, George can actually look at subscriptions that he has on knowledge base and knowledge articles. We talked about this in our session last week. You can see that there is one look and feel for the whole thing. So from here, George can look at various subscriptions that he has. Maybe he wants to say, I'm getting too many emails from this one. I want to unsubscribe to it. So you can unsubscribe to it from here. And look at notification preferences and say, I don't want to know every time there is a question posted. I probably want to know only when a content is marked as helpful. So all of those changes George can do very quickly directly from here. And as an admin, you can configure which of these settings are out of the box. So maybe out of the box, you may not want users to be inundated with a lot of emails about different things. You as an admin could set the defaults as well. So we talked a lot about questions and forums and topics. Let's talk a little bit about other types of content. So let's go into one of the forums and look at some of the content that has been posted. So we have videos. So you can look at a video, and this is video as a content type. So you can find content that is related to videos. You can upload videos and change that, and then have a lot of discussion around it, mark something as helpful, or even have the comments marked as helpful as well. So all of this is very interactive in this way. And we allow rich text comments and all of that. We also have, as we talked about, we have blogs. So you can look at a blog. And blogs are essentially long pieces of content that most of the times you actually put behind a workflow. So you can look at that. Obviously, you can see rich text support, and there is a lot of communication around it, and all that. Then any content that you are seeing, you from here you can actually navigate to either the forum that content belongs in, or you can go to the topic if you wanted to. So all of this is very interesting. Now let's have George actually submit a question, right? So in this forum, as you can see, George can actually submit a question. Let me go to the home page and I'll show you in another forum, George can actually post blogs and videos as well. So maybe in this forum, you can post a blog to only these two forums. So you see, there is a lot of configurability around that. As a forum admin, you can manage that experience. So let's have a question submitted. You can select a forum. You can optionally select a topic. I always recommend to do that. And then in the description, let's see, I'm going to add a video directly from here. So so we can add a video here, but this is where I want to get this interesting. So and this. So said somebody was a jerk. So this is where you see the power of the platform in terms of doing synchronous moderation. So the post contains one word, even one banned keyword, jerk, doesn't allow them to post, right? So you as an admin have all the capability in controlling this behavior as to which words are banned and all that. So let's post this question. So that's as simple, right? As soon as they posted the question, you see that it updates the activity feed. If I go into another user's view, and that user will automatically start seeing that if they were subscribed to the network management forum, right? So that's how it the whole UI looks like. But let's look a little bit under the hood. I'm sure some of you are implementation experts, so you want to look at how the backend looks like for this. So let's jump into and log in as an admin to this. We have various roles around community administration, forum administration, and based upon who you are, you actually see various items in your platform UI. So talked about forums and forum configuration. So let's take a look at how it actually looks like. So let's go into this particular forum. And in this forum, I'm managing the same remote access. Obviously, you can have an image, you can control it directly from here. It's not on the UI. You control it directly from here. You can change the description of the forum. You can even relate this forum to a parent forum and have this as a sub forum of that. You can define which topics that this forum actually will discuss. So it is very curated in that sense. And that gives your end user a very quick overview about, hey, is this forum where I want to discuss, because these are the topics that they discuss and this is the description. Figure which content types are enabled. So if you want to say that, hey, I don't want video to be posted in this forum, you can do that. And you can actually, in fact, also restrict video as a content type across the entire forum if you wanted to, or blogging across the entire forum. You have amazing levels of configurability around that. You can define the permission, so you can say, hey, which set of users can do what in this forum. And then if you have copied this permissions from a different forum, which you can do because you don't want to repeat the same task, you can actually look at all that information directly from here. And it's very flexible. So for example, if I open up forum moderators, you can see this one has a group, and you can assign a group to the members of this forum, and every person who is part of that group can actually be part of this particular forum and have that capability of moderating that forum. Or let's say if I look at this particular one, they've also added a user. So there is an amazing amount of flexibility that we provide in configuring a forum. And obviously you can manage exceptions, and if you want to override some of the permissions at a user specific level, then you can do that. As I also talked about, you can copy permissions from one forum type to another forum type, and you can do that very easily. You can debug forum permissions. So say, hey, I am looking at this, and what does able tutor have access to in this forum, and then be able to actually take a very quick look at it. Very interesting stuff, very configurable. You can manage the list of topics that go across the forum. Let's look at moderation. So in moderation, we have capability of controlling who gets moderated, and if they are moderated, what their behavior is. So you can define that certain users are never moderated. Even maybe the CEO of your company or your marketing head, you don't want to moderate them if you want to, or a group that is never moderated. You can say some users are always moderated, irrespective of who they are, right? Some companies have done that as well. And then if content is being moderated, and then you can decide that whether the content is automatically hidden or not, right? So you can do that configuration. You can say, as a new user, there is a content threshold. You can say, hey, the first post of that user is moderated, the first 5 posts of this user is moderated, and then you can say have an exception around that. For abuse reporting, you can say, hey, let's allow users to report abuse on a content or on a profile. And we also have a threshold. So for example, if 2 users have reported a certain content to be abusive, that's the out of the box setting, by the way, then that content is automatically hidden so that you're not running into any risk. And then what options you provide in the abuse, those are also very configurable. We support user banning. You can decide to remove that as well. And then there is offense threshold here as well. So let's say somebody has actually posted something offensive and the moderator says that, yeah, it was offensive. You get a point on your profile. And then if you have done 2 offenses, then you're automatically banned. Again, some of this is demo data, some of it is for you to configure. But as you can see, there is amazing flexibility out of the box in this product for that. We can take a look at, actually talking about moderation, take a look at one of the moderation tasks that I opened up earlier this morning for this demo. So somebody posted, somebody reported a content as being moderated, and as the moderator here, what I can do is I can take a look at this and approve the content or reject the content. So let's say approve the content basically would basically mean that you obviously have to give some notes as well. And you can see what the outcomes were, right? So this was a false positive because the content was good. If you had rejected the content, then that content would have been hidden, and as well as the user whose content was reported would have been marked as, would have gotten an offense. And you can take a look at users like that. So that's moderation. We talked about content types, so you can enable, disable content types at the community level or enable them at a forum level. You can see from some of the table names here that we have actually taken the social Q&A feature that we had, and the underlying content is actually brought over. In terms of migration, you have the capability of migrating all your social Q&A content into one of the forums in the new community as a one-time process. And then you can continue your discussions on this community product. And we have various activity types, so you can see all those activity types, and now those activity types, you can define the default behavior, and this is what drives the activity feed. And that's about it. As you can see, it's a whole new application with a lot of features, and let's just talk a little bit about what benefits you can expect out of it, right? So the first thing, as you can see, is a very engaged experience. The content is very personalized. The experience looks more like what you see in your consumer life in some of the social applications, Facebook or LinkedIn, and is integrated with your customer portal. It's not something that you have to integrate. It's integrated out of the box. Obviously, it can drive reduction in cost. You can deflect common issues. So you're through the content that has already been discussed, some users will find answers in that, even though it may not be in the knowledge base. And sometimes if they post there, then you can actually get answers, and those calls are getting deflected from the call center. The knowledge is crowdsourced, so it's validated, it's authentic, and then you can take that and harvest articles out of it. Your cost in creating and managing articles actually goes down. And then obviously with reduction in time for cases that is coming in, or reduction in time that agent would have had to spend on writing articles and knowledge articles as a part of their KCS processes, they can actually focus their attention on something else, and it improves the efficiency. And finally, this community's application drives loyalty. You can curate experts that help others. They can become your brand advocates, and then that loyalty will drive revenue in terms of activities. So that's it. Questions? Lisa, have we seen any questions on the community yet?
Yes, we do. We have, the first question was from Kent. He says, we have knowledge management and we're considering using social Q&A. However, we were told that ServiceNow is urging customers to migrate to communities. Do we need to purchase additional licensing? Does communities integrate with knowledge? Can we search communities? Can we create knowledge-based conversations in communities? Some of that you've already um, answered.
Yeah, so I think it's yes to most of the features that you were requesting for. In terms of licensing, yes, it is a separately licensable product, and we can discuss about that offline in terms of your needs and what licenses you may need to purchase.
Okay, the next one, can forums, threads, and subscriptions be imported from Yammer?
Uh, Customization, yes, because we have REST APIs that allow you to create content, but no out of the box support. That's something that we are considering in the long term roadmap, so that we can do some stuff like swarming, where you have a discussion in your favorite tool that is available in your corporate, and then move that to the community for later usage. So that's something that we are considering in the future, but not now out of the box.
Okay, that's so far. Those are the only questions that we have. I'm refreshing my screen, and I still don't see any new ones. Maybe we'll get some more questions on the community as people watch it on demand.
Sure. Any questions on the live stream or the events page?
No. Oh, I did not check the events page. Let me go check that out rather quickly. If my computer will cooperate. I'll check one more time on that one. And no questions on the event page at this time.
Cool.
All right.
So let me, since we have some time, I did want to get some of you interested in what we are planning for the product. So a little bit around the roadmap that we have for this product. It's a product that we are heavily investing in terms of resources and release capability and release priority. So let's talk a little bit about that. So before I share the roadmap, there's a bit of a safe harbor just to cover my slide. So in terms of how to read this roadmap, the stuff that is on the left is already what we already have as a part of Jakarta. Some of the things that are in the planned section are what we are working on in the Kingston timeframe. Most of them will make it to the Kingston timeframe. So let me talk a little bit about those. So gamification is something that we are adding as a capability to the platform, and as something that can be reused across other applications as well. You will have full flexibility in terms of configuring activities and points for specific activities, and then you could do gamification for other features and products as well. We are adding a few content types, events, documents, where document is a central source of interest there, and then we're also adding capability to bookmark. In terms of subscriptions, we are adding capability to follow users. So you can actually follow a user and see all the content related to that user. Announcements, so that you can make forum level announcements or global announcements. Knowledge and case integration, although possible even in Jakarta through configuration and minor customizations, we are adding out of the box support for it in the Kingston/London timeframe. In the long-term roadmap, you see ideas, at mentions, content recommendations. A lot of plans around using some of the acquisitions that we have done, and some of the capabilities that are available for sentiment analysis out there, and then do some interesting things around that. And then we are also looking at a unified taxonomy across content that is happening, that is getting created in community, content in knowledge, content in cases and incidents, all of that together into a global taxonomy, so that you can really have a bird's eye view into it. And then use that to drive custom pages on the portal, which are dynamic. So, for example, a product landing page, you get to know all the details about the product in terms of active discussions, active knowledge articles, or maybe a product guide and all that in one page because of a unified taxonomy. So those are some of the ideas that we are playing around with. We are very excited about to bring this product out to the market, the Jakarta release, and we look forward to investing in this considerably in the next few releases as well. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks so much. Let me just check the community one more time, see if there's any more questions posted. Oh, can we import the data from Yammer? That was the...
Yeah, as I said, we have REST APIs available, so you will be able to import the data, but obviously you'll need some wrapper APIs around it or wrapper code around it to use our APIs.
That's great. Wonderful. All right. Thanks so much, Sarup, for presenting this new and fascinating feature from Jakarta release.
Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.